Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night Chronicle. I am the Ravnos Archon. I'll be your storyteller this evening. Last we left off with our Camarilla group. We opened up on them hearing the news of the bishop increasing his assaults on the northern parts of Salem, shooting out from Kaiser into Hayesville, for example. They also learned that one of the shovelheads that was loosed on the club was named Bernard Thatcher, who turned out to be kinfolk. And we got to see that Ivory is sending a message to a particular individual in town. But we also got to see a new face to the city in the presence of Jürgen Weiser, who happens to be from a small town to the east of Luxembourg, who had connections to Karl Keller. It was revealed that there was some things that have changed back in Germany where Karl is from, but they, after checking and making sure that this is not some Simitsi ruse like it has been done before, they did see that his story checked out. He was who he said he was. He was of the lineage that he claimed he was, and so they called Coulson to find out if something could be done because he is from a problematic clan. And after having Coulson show up with Otis in tow, publicly Otis denied his invitation to have him join the Camarilla. And as such, Coulson offered them two options: to let him go on his way, to let him find someplace else to live, or to introduce him at the Elysium as a different clan. And then once the ability is presented for him to join the Camarilla, for it to be revealed the truth, which is a dangerous slope to go down. But after discussing it with Jürgen, he decided to make his presence known to the Anarchs so he can at least stay in the city, even though it was offered for him to go up to Portland since the Nosferatu Prince is a little more lenient. But we left off with them splitting up for the evening, and tonight we get a special Elysium episode, so two casts come crashing together. It is Friday, July 19th. There are a slew of familiar faces around 9 o'clock in the evening when the Elysium truly starts. Among the familiar faces of Otis and his primogen, Ivory will see that Sheriff Green is there, Samantha Crushing is there, Maggie Sullivan, Tulip, Barnaby, of course, is there, Frederick Mason, Ethan Forelli, Patricia Bailey, Teddy is there in attendance, Lydia Frost, and a new face that I don't think Ivory has seen before, a Johan Leedson. One of the new Ventru in the city. There are a couple other faces that you haven't seen before that are kind of in the vicinity of Otis's gravity, and they continue to kind of talk to each other. There is a female that continues to kind of go between the little trio and Otis, and then kind of back to the trio. Are Sam and Erickson showing up together, or are they kind of meeting up?
No, let's show up together. Show some solidarity.
Yeah, I mean, right? Unfortunately, because Andreas wouldn't be with us, right?
He's no, and he's got other business to take care of.
Yes, he's got other business to take care of. So, the coteries got to show up. We can't just, like, I will say Sam will be very, very new because this will be the first time he meets, I imagine, meeting mostly everybody. So, got to make sure that they understand he's with me so that they can judge him accordingly.
Right. You can't let him just have a reputation by himself.
No.
People have to know.
No. As usual, Ivory is dressed to the nines in her black with her veil that covers half of her face.
Yeah. Sam, since this is a difficult subject to breach, as you show up to the club, you will see that the bouncers are checking IDs. There's a list of people, and for the upstairs area, which is where Elysium happens. But you notice that there is this special, like, 10-foot alley. There's a little hallway from the entrance to the actual club that has like a red carpet. There's little like 1940s and 50s accoutrement that delineate it. But one whole wall is a mirror. I think this is also new for Erickson.
Yeah, I have an impulse, like a deep-seated impulse to break said mirror. Mirrors have not been have not bode very well for me in the past.
They haven't.
In fact, I like whisper that to Sam as we see this.
Well,
This is Elysium.
Yeah. Can you give me a wits and awareness roll?
Oh, son of a bitch. Wits and awareness.
Yeah.
So that's 6. Cool. And 2 hunger die.
Yep. Well, it's Friday, so you can go down to 1. You can all go down to 1.
Oh,
hunger.
very nice. Very nice. Good.
Yeah,
So the
I am benevolent.
yes.
yeah, huh? Sure you are. Sure you
For
are.
now.
So 1 on the hunger, 10, 9, 8, and the rest under 6.
Okay. What is the distortion that Erickson sees when he can see his reflection but doesn't see Sam's?
It's so I'll just to say it more like it's like a pop culture or D&D reference. It's almost like a displacer beast. You think you see him, but the image is behind him on the mirror, not dead on.
Am I getting a report out now?
You'll get somebody coming out. Yep.
I look as I stare at the mirror, and I was about to make that comment. I noticed that. I look back. I'm to the side. I'm like, okay. I actually touch your shoulder. I go, okay. Okay. I guess you don't have to explain it, but any
clap a
reason
hand on the
that
shoulder.
you're a movie? I'm sorry.
You already know the answer to your question,
Yeah.
and I just move on.
Understood. Yep. There's nothing new in this place, like new crosses or anything like embellishments.
No,
Nothing like that, right? All right, good.
No. The only new thing is that there's a lot of mirrors.
Yeah, which is very unsettling.
Tell me about it.
That is very unsettling.
But with 3 on your wits and awareness, you also notice that all of the mirrors are facing in such a way that there's a camera on them.
That there's a camera on the mirror?
Not on the mirror, but like pointed at the mirror.
Got you.
Like the front one has 2 different cameras from 2 different angles. There's several around the first floor, around the dance floor mostly, but like opposite the mirror, there's always a camera pointed at it. There's a bunch of new cameras too.
Oh, it's been a while since I've been here, so this is all relatively new.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like security was ramped up.
Have you been here since the Elysium with Hyde?
No.
So yeah, a long time. That was opening night.
Yeah. But one of the bouncers inside will point to the stairway leading up to the second floor. And you'll see that Ivory is at the top of the stairs with a gentleman next to her. regal looking, kind of not like royal, but like definitely like high class. Like there's a suit, there's a vest, there's a tie. The suit jacket is open, so you can see the fob watch chain from pocket to pocket on his vest. There's a bronze, something kind of orange or yellow in the light, that is a tie pin that he has. Like he looks fancy as fuck. Hands behind his back, tall, broad-shouldered. If not for the clothes that he's wearing, he would give off like police vibes. But he has told Ivory that the gentleman with Erickson has a distorted reflection.
I wave at Geraldine.
She puts her hand up, and you'll see the gentleman next to her kind of cut eyes to you.
Got
Almost
eyes right back at him.
almost
What?
like glaring at you, taking her attention away from him. And Sam will recognize that as Barnaby. And the moment you cut your eyes at him, he sees you, holds up his finger to Geraldine, says something, and then starts to get up and walk your direction.
By the way, I have worn the only fancy-ish Guayabera I have is a linen, like linen grayish Guayabera. It's a muted color. It's a muted color. It's nothing too wild.
It doesn't say sangria on the back,
No, it's actually like right here on the pocket.
on the pocket.
Says
Okay,
It says it
subtle.
on the top left pocket. You know.
Yeah.
That's the only thing red is literally just the red outline of the word sangria. That's what in
Okay.
order to be able to see it.
Yeah, no, subtle. That's what Erickson suits.
Yeah, subtle. Yeah. So subtlety is the name of the game for this brouhaha.
100%.
So I'll hold up if I see Barnaby coming, and I'll motion for.
Ivory will lean over to Benjamin and say, "Do we have any idea who that guy is?"
They're climbing up the stairs, but Benjamin's like, "No, ma'am. Have no record of him in any of the Elysiums before."
Keep a record.
And he'll step away. And Barnaby comes right up behind you, and you'll feel his hand just slither across the small of your back.
Mm-hmm. I told you.
Yeah. And he leans in so that his mouth is like right behind your ear. Who is that disgusting oaf? Looking at Geraldine and myself.
Oh, that's Erickson Wood. He's an anarch, Bruja.
Filthy.
Say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Oh,
He
He's
just
clean as
did.
shit, man.
yeah. He'll squeeze the little kind of like love handle on the side opposite of him and pull you close. Why is he next to Samuel Miller, who is an upstanding gentleman?
Oh, I don't know him. That's Samuel Miller, huh?
Let me introduce you. And there is no fighting him.
Oh,
He-
she knows.
Like he is not like leading with his hand, with his forward hand. He is leading with the hand hooked around you. And Sam, you'll see Barnaby as you get to the top of the stairs, just kind of come over with this young woman. Is Ivory wearing the veil?
Oh yeah, she always wears the veil.
Okay.
She has the veil. She has very like almost platinum blonde hair, ice blue eye, the one you can see. In black, reminiscent, wearing like a very tight bodice with a flared skirt, reminiscent of the 50s, 40s, somewhere around in there.
Yep.
Very
But-
high class.
Yeah, Sam will see Barnaby coming over, and he'll step in such a way to just slide between Samuel and Erickson so that he kind of makes himself take the place of where Erickson was standing.
So he doesn't have to look at him.
Yes. Mr. Miller, allow me to introduce to you my child. This is Ivory Lawson.
Ah,
Ivory, dear, this is Samuel Miller, venture of upstanding pedigree.
Oh, really?
And
I will
Pleasure to meet you.
deliberately walk around. I'll deliberately walk around to get so I make sure that I'm in view, like I am across from this guy Barnaby.
Ivory will cut a look to Erickson as he comes around with kind of a, rolled eyes a bit.
It's good to see you too, Ivory.
Oh, it is
It's a
so good
pleasure.
to see you. It's been so long.
And
place is
And I'm
much
sorry.
classier.
and I extend my hand out to Barnaby. I go, my apologies, Erickson Wood.
He looks at your hand and he looks at you. I'm aware of who you are, Mr. Wood.
Okay, and I am at a loss. I'm at a disadvantage then because I
Now that's
Don't
your
know who
choice
you are.
for your clan upbringing, but that's neither here nor there.
okay.
Oh,
Um,
I'm so sorry. This is my sire, Barnabas Jones.
Bonobo Jones. Pleasure, Mr. Jones. It was
She tries really hard not to laugh.
And
She's very good at it.
Yeah, he straightens his tie. Mr. Miller, would you like to join me and my sire and my child at our table?
I don't see why not. We do have some business with the prince, but I'm sure he'll get to us when he's ready.
Oh, of course. I can help usher you forward in the line if you'd like, Mr. Miller.
If it comes to that, yes.
Of course.
I'm glad that he extended you this courtesy.
Will your
I think
monkey...
at least one of us has it, yes.
Yeah, he's like, will your monkey, valet, be fine by himself? And just kind of like motions towards Erickson.
I'm sure he will find something flammable.
Ivory shoots a look.
I look at Ivory going, it's Elysium. I just say, it's Elysium.
Hey, fire isn't a power.
Fire is not a power.
It's not. It is not.
But Barnaby will lead Sam and Ivory over to the table where he was sitting with Geraldine. Sam, can you give me a wit and awareness roll?
Sure can.
Yeah, that might put something together for Erickson. I don't know if he knew that Geraldine was her grandsire.
No.
No, I did not know that.
Okay, 9 on hunger. I'm going to surge my wits.
Ooh, okay.
So that's... And you said awareness, right? Yeah.
Mm.
4.
4. You will notice that Barnaby has been really cordial towards you, immaculately behaved when he's talking to like Geraldine or Ivory.
Mm-hmm.
But you notice that there is this predator in how he handles Ivory.
Mm-hmm.
His grip is too strong. Or like you can see the outline of his hand like digging into the small of her back as he's leading her to the table. And you can see the difference of how he acquiesces to everything that Geraldine is saying, but then like will reprimand Ivory. Even if she agrees with Geraldine, there's always like, please, the adults are talking. Like there is this level of hierarchy in how he addresses everyone.
Okay.
But you'll also notice that there's a gentleman that's looking as you are going to go sit down with him, and he kind of clocks where you are, and then goes over to Erickson. This is John Coulson.
Coulson,
he
long
comes over.
time.
Mr. Wood, I thought you had given up on the tower.
Oh, I mean, it's how does it go? Every time I try to leave, it's almost like it keeps pulling me back.
Interesting. So,
And how have you been since the last time I've seen you?
well, things have been difficult, seeing as how we've lost one of our coterie.
Of course, no, and again, I'm sorry that you're down you have such a heavy loss for your group.
He was a strong warrior, sure, but he was a good friend more than anything, and that's what I think is hurting the most.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of rubbed off on me a little too much, as you can see, and I show him the the linen guayabera that literally says sangria on it.
But he'll point to Sam, and you're like, "You've already turned around and changed your coterie member, I see."
It's not so much changed around. It's more of fast friends, I guess. Or quiet.
Oh, so you still are running with Andreas then? Mr. Barker and his motorcycle gang haven't driven you off?
I mean, I know I'm talking to Coulson. As I say this out loud, I say this to him. I know I'm talking to Coulson, so you already know the answer to this.
I just wanted to make sure, Mr. Wood, there are rumors floating around about Mr. Barker and his group and the altercations that they've been having with a different group in the city.
By all means, I would love to have this conversation with you. I mean, what better to get it than to get it from the source, right?
Of course.
So, as far as who is having this issue with Andreas, or it's the other way around, I imagine.
It's a situation of us hearing that him and his group are continuing to cause trouble in the north. And while normally that would be acceptable, considering the Sabbat presence up in Kaiser, things are becoming unhinged rather quickly.
Are you talking about the report that was on the news with the flaming tower of motorcycles?
Yes, that's one of them, sure. I'm just assuming, of course I could be wrong, but given your proclivity for fire, I imagined that was your doing.
I mean, Coulson, as much as you know, I don't get credit for anything.
I know the truth of the matter.
Well, then you're probably my only fan.
That is a strong word, Mr. Wood.
I laugh. I laugh when I tap him on the shoulder. I'm like, you know what? I haven't had a good laugh like that in a while. But I will say that it's interesting how you say that Andreas and his group are causing problems. When what evidence do you have that it's them? I imagine it's because you're seeing the outfits that they're wearing. Is that right?
Correct.
And what's the possibility that it could just be, I don't know, another person that's impersonating said group? I mean, that's possible, right?
It would be possible. However, given that that group has violent tendencies, it's hard to imagine someone else picking up the reins, as it were.
I see. So if what you're saying is that it couldn't be anybody but my group, right? Couldn't necessarily just be somebody impersonating.
Let me make myself clear. I'm not accusing you or your associate of doing anything. I'm just saying, if you were, And if he had any control over his associates, that he should start to tighten that leash, as it were.
Well, I mean, I guess if we're talking rumors, then I guess I can provide a rumor over one. You know, there is a rumor out there that there's a group that tries to look like my coterie.
Yes.
Physically, in fact, tries. But if you ever get up close to them, I could tell you that it's a pretty bad Samitsi take, I think, is how I would put it.
It's interesting you should say that, because this is not the first time you've dealt with Simitsi usurpers. And he'll
real
point to
quick.
Teddy.
So, that's right. You guys considered him a usurper then? No, obviously not, if he's here now. And I see him and I go, oh my God, Teddy. And I forget everything that we're talking about Colson. I'm just like, Teddy, how are you and where are your cats?
Yeah. And when he sees you, he has this big smile on his face, and he just gets his elongated limbs and brings you in for a Doug Jones kind of hug, where he just kind of like envelops you into his body. And as you're talking to Teddy, we'll switch back to Barnaby and the ladies and Sam.
It's a good thing I can't breathe.
Yep. But Sam, Barnaby, like I said, has the utmost reverence for Geraldine, and there is this disappointed father tone whenever he's talking to Ivory.
So, Geraldine, lovely to meet you.
Mr. Miller, I have heard good news, good things about you.
Thank you. I try to keep the reputation clean.
Yes, my child has said nothing but good things about you and your interactions. And he does kind of lean forward. He's like, do you have any concerns, any news on what we have discussed?
As a matter of fact, I do.
And Geraldine, should this be a conversation between the gentlemen? And she kind of like gives Ivory a nod. And Barnaby just kind of looks up at her with a smile. He's like, oh, I would hate to drive you off, Geraldine. I'm sure that this can be shared with my two favorite women. No, Mr. Miller?
I'm sorry.
Is
I didn't hear.
it not something that can be shared between all of us?
I would imagine, yes. Is the setting?
Yeah, Ivory's of two
Wide enough?
minds. She really wants to get away from him, but she
Yeah.
also wants to know what's going on.
Yeah. And Geraldine does have a disappointed look when she looks at Ivory. It's almost like, I gave us an out, and we couldn't take it.
She acknowledges the try.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, he you'll see him just kind of like grab the back of Ivory's hand and just kind of squeeze in what appears to be a loving gesture, but it is too tight for Ivory.
it's
Yeah.
a possessive gesture.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that fortitude, comes in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, a few things. Let me start off this by asking you all a question. How many Ventru are in Salem?
Maybe 4, 5 at the most.
Mm-hmm. And if I were to guess, and I look around, they're all here.
He looks around and he's like, yes, I think the only one missing is Virginia.
is it that this matter you asked me to look into, the numbers don't add up?
How so?
There are far more in this group than there are Ventru in the city.
Hmm. And he looks to Ivory. My dear, is there anyone set to introduce themselves tonight? Perhaps maybe it's someone new that Mr. Miller has not heard of?
Does she know of any?
There's only 4 people introducing themselves. The only Ventru on the docket is Johann Liedsen.
Well, Johann Leitzen is relatively new, but I believe you're counting him?
I am. So, my suspicion, based on what I and my team have been able to take up, is that someone's trying to frame the Ventru in this matter. And specifically, it seems that they keep coming back to Mr. Orston on our side of the river as not being involved, but giving the appearance that he is.
Mr. Orston. So this is not, there are not any Ventru in charge of what I set you to task.
Correct.
So who is besmirching my child's name?
Well, the other name
She
that came
looks up at that.
the other name that came up was a certain, I'm sure you're familiar with him, Mr. Hertzfeld. But again, not a Ventru, but also making it seem like he is behind this, him and Mr. Orston. So
She looks over at Geraldine like, do you know anything about this?
She very subtly shakes her head.
So, a little more digging, a little more, well, money makes the world go around, and it makes people talk.
Of course.
2 other names came up. Thomas Hyde and Antoine Davies.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and he does kind of squeeze Ivory's hand at that. But those 2 are dead.
That is what. Yes.
That was also my understanding. But there is...
Definitely looks at Geraldine on that.
Yeah, they appear to have been missing since New Year's. Or at least, well, actually both of them. Because unless you've seen the ashes, our kind tend to, well, even if you have seen the ashes.
I have it on good authority that Mr. Hyde was removed from the board. Mr. Davies, though, I believe, and I use the term very loosely, Mr. Miller, I apologize, but your associate may have been involved with that.
Ah, I will have to ask.
I appreciate the work that you've put in. I'll have to stop by your office and make sure that I finish my payment then to you.
Of course, of course. There is a little more if you're interested.
Of course. What fun this is, and he kind of squeezes Ivory's hand again.
And sorry, out of character, I'm looking at the notes as I talk to you.
Yeah.
What was the main corporation that was I'm missing the name on that one.
The
the main umbrella, and there were 3 others underneath, or is it just the 3?
Oh no, it's those 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Those 3 are each the top of the umbrellas.
Okay, so 3, and I can do some more digging if you want, but offering up the names just in case you want to do your own diligence.
Of course.
3 corporations came up, shells. First, and I haven't been able to dig up anything on them, is the Salem Riverboat Trading Company.
Quaint.
Mm-hmm. Second, the Salem Wilderness Conservation.
Not one I'm familiar with.
The third, however, has come up. The Sunshine Corporation.
Again, I'm becoming rather a bit of a nuisance in the city.
You can also have their listed owner if they're interested, and if you don't already know.
It is open knowledge. The caliber of person that owns or that is pulling the strings behind the Sunshine Corporation, unfortunately. And he kind of smiles as he looks over at Otis. If you haven't spoken to our dear prince about it, I'm sure he would tell you a plethora of things concerning this head of the Sunshine Corporation.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
Of course.
But that is the extent of what I've been able to dig up in the short time since we met.
It's only been a fortnight, Mr. Miller, and yet you've come bearing such fruitful gifts.
Well, I do hope they were helpful.
Of course. Very much so.
Good.
I hate to do this to you, and he grabs Ivory's hand and brings it up to his lips and kisses the back of her hand. I have to talk to Geraldine privately for a moment. If you'll excuse us. And he does kind of put his hand on Ivory's face. Just kind of shakes. It's a little more aggressive than lovingly. But he does smile, and he offers his hand to Geraldine and helps her up, and they walk away.
Oh, Miss Larson.
Mr. Miller.
So, apologies for any confusion. He had reached out and asked me to look into some people that were attempting to sink your business and cause you trouble otherwise.
In what way? And why haven't I heard about this?
I would imagine he keeps a lot of things from you.
Oh, I would imagine. But the last I heard of the Sunshine Company, I thought that Davies owned that.
It's a spider web.
I see.
That's, again, what I told you all is what I found. So, still digging, but it seems this is a very convoluted mess.
I feel like I'm missing a little bit of this conversation, though. How are they trying to do this?
He didn't go into details, but if they were pretending to be venture, I would imagine it would be something like buying out vendors, getting permits pulled for your place. Have I heard? Did I hear about? I heard about the party from a couple episodes ago, right? We talked about that last session, I think, where Grant showed up and sent a bunch of.
Yes. Yeah, the shovelhead incident.
That would be a more Ventrue thing, but since they aren't Ventrue, maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you had some trouble with a certain Mr. Reynolds and a
Well,
few of his friends out front.
well, maybe his friends. We're not
As much
positive
as-
of that.
As much as he'll lean in.
The timing is suspicious, but
He'll actually lean in a little bit. Are you familiar with the phrase shovel party?
vaguely.
They had one recently.
They being,
The Sabbat.
yes.
A recruitment drive.
Yes. I'm not surprised.
Well, I hope my interaction with your sire didn't sour any relations between us.
If that were true, then I would be soured against everyone.
Excellent.
I make my own decisions about my impressions.
That must be a constant hair across his ass, as they say.
Well, I did save his sire. So, anyway,
Excellent.
With that
She
little,
seems okay.
yeah, with that little nugget, we switch back over to Erickson. The sheriff has interrupted your quality time with Teddy,
Aw.
and he's pulled you aside. Mr. Wood, one, I'm surprised to see you. It's been some time, and the word on the street is that you've joined up with Yvette and her crew.
I'm sorry. Let me clean my ears real quick. Repeat that. What you just said.
The rumors on the street are saying that you're part of the Anarch movement, Mr. Wood. Which is fine
I'm
if
part of
that's where your heart lies. I just thought that you were doing some good work for us over here, and losing you is gonna be rough given the war that we're currently in.
I mean, I haven't had any ill will or quarrel with you, and that's actually, yeah, that's a very short list apparently of people that I have not spurned as I've been in this area.
Tulip has shown me.
Yeah, I would like to apologize to Tulip, but I think we're past that
She might forgive you someday.
someday. But I'm glad to see that you are still around and that actually have a rare fondness of my my presence, which I think, and I squeeze his arm, his shoulder, just like. But what kind of problems have you been having here?
Mr. Wood, we recently had a situation with what the Sabbat call shovelheads. It is people that are created just to exist as shock troops. I had to hunt down a trio of them that were let loose on Miss Lawson's grounds. We discovered that the first one we found was a Bernard Thatcher. You ever heard of him?
That name immediately rings a bell to my head. Yeah,
Was it on the
I've
list?
heard that name before.
Was it on the list?
It was on the list.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that name rings a bell. I've
All
heard
right.
that before.
Does Hannah Allens or Gary Dune also ring a bell for you then?
Oh. Yeah.
They
Is
were
that also on the list?
They were on the list.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to sound like a group that I've heard about in that area.
Can you shine any light on what they are? I know that they're thin bloods. They were let loose in some kind of creation, but when we staked Mr. Dune, he turned to ash immediately. And for a shovelhead, that's unheard of.
I want to see if I can recall hearing anything about that, but I imagine I'm not going to get much out of that.
Yeah, no, you don't. You never heard anything about that.
Yeah.
Miss
Sounds.
Miss Allen's we managed to stake and have been questioning her on and off. I just wanted to make sure corroborate some of the things that she said. So if you could shed some light, that'd be fantastic.
Well, I'm nothing if not helpful, sir.
I mean, that's what Sam says.
Where is Sam? And I start looking around.
She's at the bar.
Well, if you like, I imagine I have. You know, I didn't come to Elysium just for a reunion. Unfortunately, there are a couple of people I actually need to talk to. But Sheriff, I would love after Elysium is announced, after it's over, do you want to meet up so we can have this discussion and maybe we can help each other out in this endeavor?
I would appreciate that. Sure, thank you. And he, as you're putting away, he kind of grabs your arm for a second. He's like, Mr. Wood, given that you know that you knew the names on this list, have you heard anything about heretics?
Heretics.
Yeah, has that word ever popped up in all your excursions?
The only time I ever hear someone talking about heretics is those mortal evangelicals that like to hunt our kind. And
yeah, I'm aware.
But no, not outside of that.
Coulson will come up to you. Mr. Wood, Otis King will see you and your associate if you're prepared.
Of course. And thank you, Coulson, for bringing that to my attention. Let me go ahead and get Mr. Miller. Sheriff, again, I'll be talking to you soon.
I hope so, Mr. Wood. I appreciate you.
I'll go and find Miller, because
it looks like Barnaby and Geraldine have just excused themselves from the table. And you see him just sharing a couple words with Ivory.
Ivory, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to steal your dance card here for a moment. Me and Mr. Miller here have to speak with Mr. King.
Of course. You're muted.
You're muted.
So it's nice knowing you in case it was a short conversation.
I've been having a lot of short conversations today. This has been very... It almost feels like I'm back in the Bible Belt trying to run for re-election. But Ivory,
Good.
Ivory, although we haven't been able to talk much, I would love to pick your brain and about what I just saw, because I would imagine the way that Bonobo is treating Ivory is it's not like he's hiding it.
There is an outward appearance of adoration, but it is very aggressive and very violent.
Yeah. And I would also like to pick your brain about what's been going on recently here, since you've had to up the security.
Yes, there's probably a few things that we could discuss.
Yeah, there is. especially about my ghoul. But well, till then, and then I
Your ghoul?
walk out. I literally just turn and I walk
She
out.
does, I remember she doesn't actually know that was his goal.
She doesn't.
So,
She doesn't.
although, can I say if she
Although-
puts 2 and 2 together, or is that too vague?
It's a little too vague. It's on the vague side of commentary.
Okay.
Yeah, if he gave you a little more, then yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'd give you a roll, but that is just vague
I'm
enough.
leaving a morsel, just a crumb,
Yeah.
just a crumb.
But you'll see as Sam and Erickson come up to a booth on the side. Otis King is this svelte, lithe black gentleman. He has his hair is really clean and held back, but the moment the kind of cord that he uses as a ponytail separates the clean part from the back is just this cone of hair, this explosion of gray and black. He has a short, very well kept beard, blue collar, so there's like a t-shirt, but he does have a suit jacket on. He's got slacks. He is standing next to what looks to be this hunched over, for lack of a better word, is Conan the Barbarian kind of fucking animal. He is like 3 feet wide. He is quintessentially just a caveman. He's got what looks to be tanned hide or some kind of leather vest, no shirt, very practical pants, boots, and what looks to be this fur collar is you actually notice shakes and pops its head up, and it is this massive fat raccoon. But Otis stands up and extends his hand out to you, Erickson, and then to you, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen.
Prince Samuel Miller.
I extend. I go ahead and as I shake his hand, I don't grip. I don't try to grip it, obviously, but I put my other hand on his shoulder and I go, "It's a pleasure. See you, Prince." And again, so sorry for everything that's been going on recently, including to our friend Manny.
Yeah, it has been a rough time. But what can I do for the two of you?
So, not to immediately start off by insulting you, are you familiar with the term divine comedy?
Yes, I am quite familiar.
So,
are you about to offer me a Faustian deal?
Maybe in a way, but
okay. He crosses his arms.
Your counterpart across the river saw fit to, I'll kind of look at Erickson, grant us a certain domain on that side of the river.
No, that's kind. She's been stingy with domains.
She has. But this particular domain, we have to take for ourselves before it can be ours.
That's not like a toreador.
Except that it's yours.
Oh.
Or
there's the other shoe.
To be more technical, considering that you are Prince across the river, was your domain, I guess?
I know that you don't spend a lot of time on this side of the river, so maybe the way the hierarchy of the tower doesn't make sense to you, Mr. Wood, but being Prince of the city means the entire city is my domain.
including the Anarchs, though I would object to that mightily.
Of course. And I have allowed Yvette to claim barony over West Salem because there are too many things happening here on this side of the river that require constant attention.
But
So,
I would like to say is, considering our history and considering what we have done for one another in the past,
Nope.
and
And he looks
up to this
directly at Sam and he's just like, "You're gonna enjoy this. This is reminiscent of his time in the state legislature."
I'll nod my head.
yeah, and then given our time together, I would say that we have never been enemies. I take it more that you look to us in a kind light. So at least I know not with Mr. Miller, as he is someone that you have just met today, but Andreas, myself, we have been ones to be there when you needed us. And we have delivered, haven't we?
You've taken your time and you've been destructive as a bull in the china shop, but you have been successful.
Yeah.
I would then gather that you would, and this is me again. Like what Erickson is doing now is literally just, he's going like anyway. But I take it if anybody would be handling that domain that you had before, it would probably be somebody that you could work beneficially with. Considering that even though you are prince of the whole city, I imagine you do most of your business on this side of the river.
And if I may add to that, I do appreciate, based on did a little homework, appreciate how much work you put into the domain to secure it. I know you've at least secured I don't want to say peace, but not even a Cold War. It's just understanding with the Lupines to keep them out of your domain. I appreciate all the work you put into this and giving it to nobody. We'll let that all fall apart. Just doesn't seem like something you would do.
I can assume by the context of your commentary that she's offered you the red eye, or what was the red eye?
I looked into it. Is that correct? That
No,
area?
no. The red eye is the one in Salem Town. She wants you to take up Gunther's.
Oh,
the
actual
Gunther's.
storage yard. Yeah,
not the red eye. Gunther's.
Unfortunately, I cannot give up Gunther's, as there are too many things within the grounds that are near and dear to me and my coterie. Counter offer. Take Salem Town. Take what remains of the grounds where the Red Eye used to be. I won't even fight you for it.
And that is very generous, Otis. It is very generous. The only issue that, of course, we don't have, but the only issue that would come across is that's not what was offered to us. But I would like to counter what you just offered. Let us manage Gunther's. Let us have an understanding that we would have domain in that area under the eyes of the Anarchs, but that you still control this area. In fact, we're not in any obligation to, or any reason for us to tamper with or remove said sentimental items you have in this area. In fact, if we'll be happy to maintain that for you if you'd like.
That's a bold counteroffer, Mr. Wood. What assurances do I have that you will live up to those stipulations? I thought at one point that you were part of the tower, and now I find that you are an agent of Miss Morrison.
Yeah, it was unfortunate the way things came out. However, I will also say again, anything that I've done, anybody that I've disparaged has not been under you or your coterie. And I'm holding back really tightly the smirk on my face. Really, because I said those words and I know it's a flat out lie what I just said. In fact, if you need me to roll, I do have impeccable lies.
I know you do.
If need
I
me
know
to
you
roll
do.
that.
Let me see how many successes he gets on his insight, and we'll get to that.
How
bridge.
many successes I would need for that?
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and because that is a good roll. Go ahead and roll your composure and
Not
your
manipulation.
Yeah, I'll let you roll manipulation and subterfuge.
So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and then adding impeccable
die.
lies. That would be an additional die,
An
right?
additional
that's
die.
8.
Yep.
2, 4, 6, 8. So 1 for the hunger. Okay, 7 on the hunger.
Nice.
6, 6. Jesus, 6, 6, 6, 7, and then the rest is under 3. So
Okay. So 5 successes.
Yep.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 10s on top of that. So that's 8 successes.
And there's no way that I could use willpower to reroll.
I mean, do you
You'd
have
have to.
any dice that aren't hunger that you can reroll?
8 dice that are
No,
hunger?
any dice that aren't hunger.
Oh, yeah. Well, it would be the 3.
You can take a willpower point if you want to try it.
Yeah, I'll try it. Because I got what it was. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got 5. I would literally need to get 3, and even then, no, because that would be 10 successes. You said, right? There'd be no point.
8 successes total because it's 4 plus the 2 10s
Oh, you
is
have
4.
8. Okay.
No,
Okay, so I would literally need to get 3 successes here in order for this to work out.
all 3 of them.
Yep. So a 10, a 4, and a 2. Can I use another willpower?
I mean, if you want to burn through it,
Yeah, I'm burning through the midnight oil. 2 7s.
okay.
But that's
So I
even, right?
match. That's even.
Yeah. So he gives you this look, and there's a moment where he just kind of looks at Coulson, and Coulson just kind of nods. Doesn't do anything though. And Dimitri just kind of stands there. He doesn't look to him. Coulson doesn't look to him. And if he could, Dimitri would probably be picking his nose right now. But he is in a fancy setting, so he has to behave himself.
Right.
So
I do
Wild.
think Ivory was keeping an eye on this.
Okay.
They had just left her. She
Yeah.
was trying to figure out what he meant about his comment. And then she sees this odd exchange.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, the crux of the issue Mr. Wood brought up being that that wasn't the territory we were offered. I thank you. That is a generous offer. And you asked about assurances. We take over the domain. You and your agents have free access anytime to secure, keep an eye on those things that you deem important.
And of course, we would need to know what you deem important in order to be able to take care of it, of course. That goes without saying.
Sam just shakes his fucking head.
Yeah. Every step you make in progress is just like, hey, go back twice. Move back twice. That's too good. That's
I'll
too good.
I'll just kind of like lay a hand on his shoulder. Just
I was rolling for a little bit, and then the rolling stopped, and it just
and
was sitting there. Just
where's
And
Barnaby to tell you that the adults are talking?
yeah. But Otis looks at you. And he says, "Okay. How about this? You go back to Yvette, and you can tell her that whatever she wants that's in Gunther's, she can come ask for it to my face. But if you want to try and take Gunther's from me, it will be a fight."
That is not something I'm looking for. Both
Good.
businessmen.
in fact, but that's the issue here. What we said earlier was that Yvette is advised that she is leaving it up to whoever wants to take that domain. It's not necessarily that she's actually given it to us. She advised that
She's not. This is just, look around. This is typical Toreador politics, which the prince has seen through.
And he smiles, and you can tell it's a forced smile. It goes, "Mr. Miller, Mr. Wood, I can assure you, if Yvette Morrison wants to open up a bounty on my territory, I have no problem." And he points to the three faces that you don't recognize. "I have no problem unleashing that Justicar and her two Archons on that side of the city before I let them loose in Kaiser to deal with the Sabbat and the Bishop. Go back to her with my counteroffer. Tell her to know her place before I put her there. I think we're done here."
So, we have an agreement.
He gets up and walks away.
damn, not even a handshake?
Nope.
Dude,
No, I
mad
say that
AF.
out loud. I say that out loud. I'm like, damn, not even a handshake?
Man, read the room. He's mad as hell.
Yeah. And Coulson comes over and he extends his hand to both of you. "Gentlemen, I think that you've got the best answer you could have hoped for, given
And
the
we're walking away
situation.
from it.
Smart. Very smart." And as he shakes your hands, you will see Otis kind of get everyone's attention. And as everybody turns towards him, he introduces Alicia Dewey, Byron Rails, and Vincent Billings. And he says, "Given the situation up north and the bishop's push into Hayesville, Prince Jackson has seen it fitting to allow us to call upon the favor of Justicar Dewey and her two Archons, Rails and Billings, to deal with the matter. Given that the three of them are strong, but strength lies in numbers, they are prepared to train anyone willing to take up the mantle to fight against the bishop. And she steps forward, kind of holds up her hand to everybody. I'm not here to take over. I am here at the request that Otis has made to Prince Jackson. And I'm here with news that we are striking back against the Sabbat. On the East Coast alone, we have taken back cities of Miami, Washington, D.C., New York City. In the heartlands, we've taken back Nashville and Denver. And on the West Coast, we've taken back Los Angeles and San Francisco. We're pushing the Sabbat back. And as far as this coast is concerned, we're hoping to push everyone back up north to Seattle, where we take the fight straight to Sasha Vikos herself.
I look at Teddy.
Yeah, looking at Teddy.
He is oblivious to what's happening. He's just like sitting there.
Okay.
Like you see him just like shimmying in the corner to the music. Just like shaking his shoulders back and forth very so often. It is very much in the vein of like Johnny Five from Short Circuit. Like he doesn't know what's going on, but he is happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But she looks out at the group. We have a small gymnasium in South Central called Brickton. For those of you that want to come down, you can check in with any of the employees there. They will create a waiting list. We should be available most nights until midnight, after which we will be on the hunt. So just know that we are prepared to help you help yourselves, but this will take a concerted effort. And everybody just kind of like starts to murmur amongst themselves, and you'll see Johan come over to Sam and Erickson. Samuel, did you get the note I sent you?
I did. Thank you for looking into the matter with Kevin.
Of course. Do you understand the significance of why I made sure he did not open the letter?
Yes.
Good. Good. You have been trained well. But this will
Just
be
nods.
a difficult task for you to undertake. Do not be afraid to ask for help if you need it.
I won't.
And you see him turn and looks dead at Erickson, and you see him smile. And outwardly, super warm. That is a smile of a nice guy just getting to see an old friend of his.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he's looking at you, it is like a shark. And there's this moment where his beast kind of curls up, almost like a cat arching its back ready to pounce, and your beast retreats. He didn't provoke you. He didn't do anything. It's just the way that he's smiling at you makes him feel like a predator. It's unnerving because you're an alley cat feeder. Like you're used to being the boss in encounters. But the way he's looking at you makes him feel like a moose. Like he just is 12 feet tall. But a big smile on his face. And just extends his hand out to you. Mr. Wood, always a pleasure.
I slowly extend my hand out with the lightest touch whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to see you too. Didn't know you would be here at Elysium.
I wanted to make sure that my associate receives the letter I sent. It is of utmost importance.
Yeah, if it brought you out here, I imagine it must be so.
He'll shake Sam's hand. Like, excuse me, I must go introduce myself to the prince.
He's apologies if he's in a
I
mood.
shake real quick. I'm like, oh, just.
Oh yeah, the moment he turns his attention away from you, you're like, everything is right as rain.
Oh,
Yeah.
he
How was
takes some
that?
getting used to, Mr. Wood. Sorry.
What was he talking about this note?
Oh,
Is it
just
what
some.
you've been?
It's another matter that came up in my investigation for Barnaby. If
I
it
mean,
becomes relevant, I will bring it up. But for now, it's simply something I need to look into.
you keep your secrets.
Yes, we are kindred.
Yeah.
But Ivory will see that exchange between that new face and Erickson and Sam, and then after you see that new face kind of go over to Coulson and Otis. There's pleasantries, and John Coulson points over at Ivory, and you see him come over to you. Same thing. It is by all appearances, it is a warm smile, but there is this monster behind his eyes. And if you weren't used to it from Barnaby, it would be off-putting.
Another one.
But,
Got it.
he comes over and he extends his hand to you. Miss Larsen, Mr. Coulson has said that you are the keeper of Elysium. I wish to introduce myself.
Ah,
I am Johan Liedsen.
it's very good to meet you, Mr. Leeson.
Of course, it's very nice to meet you.
She will shake his hand.
Yeah. It's soft. It's gentle. But the moment you make contact, like, your beast recoils. As he sees a
Very good at
magnificent...
hiding any reaction to that. So,
This is a magnificent place that you have.
thank you. I've worked hard to build it.
This is what I've heard. I hope you do not mind. I have done my research on most of the faces here.
I would expect nothing less.
I hope that my research has not given my clan away.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Excellent. Tell me, this seems like a lot of security for a dance club.
Well, it's not just a dance club as she looks around.
You are correct.
But we recently had a little incursion.
Second Inquisition.
I'm surprised you don't know about it, since it was your clan that was up in arms about it.
I assure you, Miss Larsen, that what the clan does is not what I do. I am very different compared to them. I am almost in the same vein as Otis. I have earned what I have gotten. It was not handed to me.
Ah, I see.
I've worked hard for it.
It's a different type of venture that's coming up these days.
Correct. I appreciate those that have earned what they have as well. This was not given to you.
No, it was not.
Tell me, do you still go back and film, or is that those days are over for you?
Oh, such a distant memory.
I apologize for bringing it up then. That man over there, and he points at Barnaby. That is your sire, yes?
Yes.
He's very curt.
To you, I'm surprised.
Oh, not to me, no, but I have seen how he handles himself with women and those that are lesser than him, and he just kind of like points. He points at Erickson Wood.
Of course. I'm there eating a
Yes.
Cheeto.
Yeah.
Just wiping the
Barnaby
yellow
has
orange on your face.
Yeah.
Barnaby has his proclivities in his own way of thinking of things.
That is a word that I would not use, but to each their own. I think the gentle term would be succinct. But he steps up to you and goes, Miss Larson, I want you to know that if he oversteps his bounds, you have friends. I do not appreciate men like him.
And she just kind of nods. He is a man like him. Wait a minute. So confused.
He is not.
But he extends his hand to you again. It is a pleasure again. That large gentleman, he points at Teddy. He is a member of the Camarilla, yes?
Yes, he has been accepted.
Fascinating. What a monster he is. And you see him make his way towards Teddy.
Oh boy. Definitely keep an eye on that.
Yeah, Erickson and Sam will see that Ivory has been left to her own devices.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't mind. Well, actually, yeah, I'll walk back up to Ivory.
Yeah. Do we need to also talk before? Do we need to talk about anybody else before we leave, including Ivory?
Not that I'm aware of. This has been kind of it's just kind of felt like a high school reunion at times because I'm just me seeing people I haven't seen in a while, and
I mean, like, wow,
just
I don't
goes to
like
show
any
you
of
how-
these people.
Hey, Ivory has
That's why
never
I have
shown
this-
you anything but perfect.
I think the only person that everybody unilaterally likes is Teddy.
Yeah,
Except maybe Johan.
No. Give him time.
yeah, because for whatever reason I did nothing to Ivory's coterie, but somebody in her coterie does not like me whatsoever at all.
I don't know what you could have done.
I don't know what I could have done. I didn't set
No.
anything on fire.
You know, she doesn't like anybody. Anyway.
No, I mean, besides that, honestly, I believe Otis was the person that we needed to speak with directly.
Okay. All right. Well, let's
Oh,
at least
yeah.
speak to Miss Larson before we leave. Go back and get our asses handed to us by you bet.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Good times.
Yeah. This is the reason we get powerful, so we don't be the middlemen between tickets.
Correct.
Oh, you know, I can't wait till we get to that power, sir. And reach back over once we get up to Ivory. So you're finally you're finally free out of the clutches. Forgive me, out of the company of your sire.
Right?
For now.
I believe clutches was accurate. It's very handsy.
Yeah, I never remember.
He's French.
It has been limited, my interaction with him, but I haven't seen him this handsy. I didn't realize.
Is anybody watching them?
Like the three of you? No.
Yeah. Okay. She is going to nod, motion for them to follow her. And she's going to go into the jazz lounge.
Nice. Okay.
Is there a jazz flute? With the jazz flute.
There's nobody playing in there right now, but this is where you guys met her the first time they met.
And I imagine this has also changed.
No, not really.
Just more cameras.
Yeah.
Couple more
Well,
mirrors.
I mean, it wasn't open
Great.
when you met her here, so there's that. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So that looked a little heated with the prince. I won't ask
He-
what it was, but
I assure you I do not know the details, but there seems to be some history between him and Yvette, which may be the understatement of the year. But
there's a lot of history everywhere.
But yeah, this
I
one seemed
myself
to
walked into the middle of a lot of it about 9 months ago, so still getting up to speed on everything myself. But you mentioned something on your way up there about a ghoul?
Yeah, about my goal actually. And I get it. No, I do not take any offense. I understand that you recently, you know, that you earlier in the year you had an opening for someone to work at the Danse Nocturne. You needed somebody, an employee. And I actually sent Virginia Fowler.
Oh, yes. I know who of you speak.
I take it she wasn't up to
She
their
actually ran out
standards.
and decided herself not to work here. So recently there was some ghouls that had been in the club had their minds lost time. It was not me. We have found who the culprits are. They have not been apprehended yet. However, a wraith. I don't know if you know anything about wraiths.
We haven't encountered a wraith yet, right?
Oh, you have?
you have.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've encountered, but not. I don't have a
Well,
extensive breadth of knowledge.
this type evidently feeds on memories. And it was being used as a means to an end, I believe, by, and I can't remember their names right now, Will. Carl's not here to give me names.
Yeah, it's true. You could just say mages.
Well, one of them was a vampire, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
you secured the help of the will workers. That's interesting.
well, we werewolves. What? No, wait.
Will workers. They go by a bunch of different names.
Yeah. No, there were two individuals who were directing this wraith to do something. We're not exactly sure what they were trying to do, but we have stopped the ability of the wraith coming into the club at this time.
Wraiths
So
feed.
I'm very
like us.
sorry that happened to your ghoul. I did not realize she was your ghoul. As she kind of looks him in the eye with a
Again, considering considering how much you know about me, I can imagine how me forgetting to advise you that this is my ghoul could have been very accurate to my character.
Very true. But I want to assure you that cannot happen again in this club. And we are on the lookout, and the prince is aware of these two individuals, and they are looking for them.
Do you have any description? Any names whatsoever? Well, I mean,
Yes.
I don't know if you have names of these.
Yep.
individuals?
I actually do have pictures and names, and
Yeah.
I will give them to you, and Will can give them the names.
Yeah. The gentleman is named Gerald Greaves. The woman is named Penelope Bayer.
Do we know the clan?
One of them is a mage, if I remember correctly, right?
Gerald is the mage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Penelope is La Sombra.
So that would explain the mirrors.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. That's also looks fairly new from
Relatively new, yes. And she looks at Sam and raises an eyebrow.
Do I need to say it out loud?
It's something we're now watching for.
Of course. Not all of my clan are upright citizens, as it were. Some of us are more independent.
And I was hearing from Coulson that, and I know that you spoke about it before as well, besides this issue with this Wraith, that you had a problem with some kindred attacking the club.
Yes. I'm surprised you didn't see it on the news.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of news, and a lot of it is painting a picture of, I can be plain about that since you've been seeing the news as well, that it's painting a picture of free souls when unfortunately that's not
Right. There's
the culprits of
Sabbat.
this.
Unfortunately, we did have to spin it with some gang war, not necessarily free souls. We did spin it more towards their rivals, but there were some picketers outside. A dump truck of dirt and manure was dumped that had shovel heads buried in it, 3 of them. And they came and tried to attack the club. We got the doors closed, but then they attacked the picketers that were outside. It was during Elysium. And Grant Reynolds had just been here. Yes, he showed his face in Elysium.
Yeah, it's not the first time he does that. Every time he does that, all of a sudden some kind of event happens shortly after.
Interesting. And he told me that your doppelgangers were the ones causing all the trouble.
I mean, technically, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, he, broken watch is right twice a day,
Yes, it seems that's the reason he came here, to warn me. To make sure the prince knew that.
That the prince knew that it wasn't us, that it was a separate pack.
Well, no, that it was the doppelgangers causing so many problems, and they had gone even further than the Sabbat would ever go.
Yeah. Got bullshit on that one.
Yeah. I will say though, speaking in friendly terms and being, from you providing information to us, and I'll be happy to provide you a little bit of information as well. Since we're talking about the news, that we had this issue with, I believe it was a hotel, Will?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a hotel that that Bates was in?
No, Bates was in a house.
Also, it was in his own house. It was in a house that he was in.
Yeah.
It was a duplex. So, you might have heard about a fire that started in a duplex.
Oh, yes. Whenever I think of fires, I fondly think of you.
Well,
we were busy.
Me adjacent.
You were busy.
Me adjacent. I will say that one of the doppelgangers, after that event, one of the doppelgangers is no longer needing to be worried about.
I did hear that one of them was gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I should.
In fact, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say to add to that, since thank you for the pictures and information. In the interest of good relations, I don't know if you were going to bring this up already, Mr. Wood.
Mhm.
There's a Zamisi running the pack. He seems fairly young still. He's attempting to create war ghouls. So you may want to keep your head on a swivel if you're out at night with your coterie. Well, one of them is off the table.
I see.
We're hoping. Well, not we. I'm. If I have any hand in it, the rest of that dubious coterie would be eliminated shortly.
Yep.
I am very calm at the moment.
That would
over all
not
of this.
that would not be unwelcome news, but and especially since there is a blood hunt on them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You might also be interested to know one of them. It's a younger woman. Name's Fatima. We're not. She's their most recent acquisition. We're not sure if she's knows the whole story. She may only know this pack. So if you do encounter them, maybe you can use that as an angle.
All right.
Because I intend to.
Basically, if you have any information regarding, in fact, and I sift through the booklet I have, like the actual like scratch I write. You could always look up the Samisi known as Tucker White is who we're actually going to be looking for.
I know of Mr. White. Now, there's another one that an interesting thing happened at a hotel. There was a shoot up between the Free Souls, is what was said. So there's this, how to explain this? Because that was so long ago, I don't remember all the details. One of the Free Souls went into a room at the something hotel and started shooting up. Was it the Devil's Disciples?
Mhm.
Or was it the Free Souls?
Trying to remember which event you're talking about.
The one
Yeah, 'cause
where
it's-
the doctor was. That's how we ran into him.
That was the Devil's Disciples that was being attacked.
Okay.
Oh,
We were.
Is this the one? Is this the one where it ends in a pile of motorcycles on fire?
That was before
This was
that.
long. That was a while. This was a while ago.
It was one of the first open warfares.
Ah, okay.
This young kid snuck into the room that the Devil's Disciples was in and opened fire. And then there was a doctor on scene that he was not who he seemed to be. He was I'm trying to recall details. He's a shapeshifter of some sort.
you could also put the Tzimisce into that category, at
Yes.
least with in terms of faces. So
He works at
Salem
the
General.
hospital,
Salem General.
Salem General, under a different
Salem
name.
General.
Yes.
mm-hmm.
He has many aliases. He is very powerful. He was Tzimisce, right? Was he? Or what?
Dr. Eugene Stanton is he is
Yeah.
Tremere.
Tremere. Right. Okay.
Hmm.
So Dr. Eugene Stanton is the name that we found out, and he's Tremere, but he can change who he is. He has got, I remember he actually was taught to do that. But he is very powerful. And I think he was working with the Free Soul member that went in there.
Hmm.
You might, if this is unknown to you, you might have a spy.
Anybody who can change their face is suspect.
Well, no, I mean the kid.
Oh,
It looked like the kid and this doctor were working together.
so the kid shot up the disciples and escaped.
Yes.
Is this who I
Well-
think it is, Will? Is this the Rook?
the overzealous rookie? Exactly what she's talking about.
Yep. I don't want to say necessarily that this is a spy. However, it is probably somebody who was somebody who what's the term that they use? I mean, freaking Andreas would tell me this all the time. They are not, they don't run the colors. They are prospects. And it's unfortunately someone who's wanting to become part of affiliation.
Fair.
And
It looked like he was working with the doctor. Just saying. If it's
that's
nothing, it's
interesting to
nothing.
know. Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. But that is something to look into.
Yeah, so that was the day that we were looking for who took out Manny. We were checking routes that different people were taking. And it led us to this hotel. It also led us to a few other interesting places, and she looks at Erickson.
You're trying to look for who?
The
killed
person who took out,
Manny
well,
Garza?
what
Because
happened?
I can tell you that right now who it is.
Well,
It's the
we
same
know.
person that you met at the Danse Nocturne. He's the same that douchebag Grant Reynolds.
I'm
I can tell you right
ready
now.
to
More
point
to this
fingers right
story.
now. That guy.
That fucking guy.
Yes,
the
we
guy
know
that you're
that
looking
Grant
for.
Reynolds actually did the deed. But why?
Sure. I mean, it is a rumor. Thing is that it's weird. I back then I would hang out with Colston way too much because he loves rumors. The rumor is that he was avenging the death of the Tzimisce that he was with.
Yes, that's what he said.
La Sombra.
Do you really think he cares that much?
I mean, if Grant Reynolds is the type of person that likes to keep property and somebody mishandling said property, especially, I guess, somebody as close to him as, I haven't said this name in a while, Guernsey, then yeah, I think that could provoke someone to kill.
Perhaps. Although it is interesting to find paths crossing on the day of.
I'm sorry, I'm not following.
Well, we followed Grant Reynolds. you know, his trail. We have our ways. And you know, you used to own the Red Eye, well, sort of, right?
The Red Eye Lounge?
Mhm.
I believe that was actually Otis that took care of the Red
Was
Eye
it the Red
Lounge.
Eye? What's the one I'm thinking of then?
The last call.
The last call. You owned the last call, right?
Regrettably, I owned that very short stint before all hell broke loose in that area.
You
Yeah.
know, he met someone there.
Was that before or after it became condemned? So
Well,
that would tell you a lot. So I'm just scared.
no,
I'm
it
just trying to
was
figure that out.
it was the day that he told everybody that he took out Manny. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
yeah. You'd find that suspicious, right?
That he would be in a condemned location to tell somebody about, to who was he talking to then? I don't understand.
You.
He talked, oh, you mean that, wait, what? When? I'm sitting, I'm all confused. I'm like, no, I'm like, Erickson's like genuinely confused, like, what?
No. Erickson and Grant Reynolds actually met at the last call that day and had a conversation. I don't know. We found that out.
Oh,
Yeah, you did.
I mean, but yeah, I will say that every interaction I've ever had with Grant Reynolds has been tumultuous, I guess is the word I would want to use. I have
agree. And the same.
And it's very, very and like my face starts turning a little red. It's like sorry, I'm a little like I actually flush red in my face. Because he had the gall to offer me the deed to my own place in my lot that I used to have, knowing full well that he did not have access to that.
Why would he do that?
He's a psychopath.
Well, yes, but they usually
I
do have a
mean,
reason. It's twisted, but a reason.
I mean, it's the same reason I guess he would come to see us at a diner and literally warn us of what's going on in Kaiser with this said group of people that he does not associate with anymore.
Similar to what he mentioned to you, that you told us. Oh, this ain't us. This ain't us.
Look, personally, I don't care exactly what happened. But someone does. And she looks out the door towards where Otis would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I look out and I say, you know, your group is not the only one that had to search for what's been going on with Manny Garza. In fact, when news first broke out that I found out, first person I went to was Otis himself and tried to figure out what we could do. In fact, I offered my services right then and there. And I point at my shirt. I'm like, I don't know if you remember the first time you met me, but I was wearing a suit.
I do.
And now I'm wearing, and you know, and being around Manny and actually trying to open up the bar together, you know, I had to grow close with him. And let's be honest, me and Manny, I never understood the Cuban flair when I first met him, but he grew on me like a fungus. He still grew on me. And I am sad That's why I
Okay.
still wear this
I need
Guayabera. That's
I
why.
need an insight check on this.
Yeah.
What do I
Go
roll?
ahead.
Yeah, it's gonna
With
be wits.
Auspex and all that stuff.
Ooh.
Not necessarily using a power, but I get to add my Auspex into
Yeah.
rolls like that.
Wits and insight.
And would this be a social roll? Because I also get a point for I was actually looking at my sheet and I went, oh, I had that. I get to add 1 dice to social pools for beautiful.
No, this has nothing to do with your beauty.
Okay. So how many?
It would be wits and insight.
Okay.
Wits is 3, insight is 2.
And then Auspex is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And what's my opposite roll of this?
It's gonna be
Yes.
manipulation and
I'm obviously-
subterfuge.
So, Serg,
And I'll add. Could I add impeccable lies on this on top
Yeah,
of that?
yeah,
'Cause-
you're impeccably lying.
makes you a surge.
So
You could surge, yeah.
yeah, that's probably what I'm
Oh.
gonna do too.
All right, make a rolls check.
I will take that 3.
All right, so your hunger goes up by 1, but you get 2 extra dice.
There you go. Happy to play the game, guys. Happy to play the game.
Happy to play the game.
So it's what is it? Manipulation and what? I'm sorry.
Manipulation, subterfuge, plus 1, plus 2 more.
7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So that's 10 die.
Yeah.
So okay. 2 9 on the hunger. 7, 7, 6.
Almost missed a 6 because I got used to Scion.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. No,
got-
that's...
7 total.
I got 8.
Okay.
I will go ahead and use my willpower.
Aren't you out yet?
No, I still got 1 more. In fact, I have no problem not letting this happen. 2 9s. So that's 2 extra on top of that.
So 9.
And a tear. I'll even play a tear running down my eye of blood running down.
No, it's the black tattoo tier from,
It's the
black
having
tattoo
murdered
Yeah.
him.
He puts on a little band-aid on top of it.
Yeah.
There's a moment where it doesn't add up to Ivory, but then at the same time, why would he go to Otis immediately and offer himself to help out?
To cover.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's he's still wearing the sangria stuff. Like it leans towards he did care about Manny.
Okay.
I did. I cared enough to kill him. What?
Hugged him to death.
Look, as I said, I don't necessarily care. But we need a prince that is thinking straight. And right now he's not. He needs
I
closure
agree
on
with
it.
you.
So what can we do, working from both sides, to give him that closure?
I mean, short of handing him Grant Reynolds in front of him, it's gonna be.
Now, the question is, what's Grant Reynolds' story going to be if it gets put to the test?
We bring his fangs. Coulson identifies him as who we say he killed. And there's no story to tell.
Will that give him the closure he needs? I don't know.
Don't know.
But
It would
I
help.
honestly think that cutting down these this felonious coterie would probably be one step closer to getting to Grant Reynolds. I honestly think. At least it'll piss off his bishop, which would then have to somehow bring the attention to a Templar like
Well,
Grant
right.
Reynolds.
But
Does
remember,
Ivory know that Grant is trying to switch sides again? I don't remember if it's Ivory or me that knows that.
I think you know that as Ivory because he had mentioned
Okay.
being at odds with the bishop.
Yeah. Yes, it seems that he might be trying to switch sides again. Go back to being Anarch. And if he
I'm
makes
not so
some sort
sure.
of deal with Yvette, or takes her out, one of the two.
I'm not so sure. He's pushing the angle about this pack not doing anything he wants. These are on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also forced, as far as I can see, it's forced the bishop to push, which has forced Otis to call in the Archons, and the Justicar.
Yes, now we have this.
So why switch sides when he can just take over?
And just pick the bones of whoever's left.
Yep.
He is very good at not dying.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
is a
is.
psychopath, but I will not say he's not competent at playing the game.
He is not unbeatable though.
No.
I will say that I had, if nothing but a brief moment.
Oh,
Yeah, I shudder to think about using that much power again, but if it does come to it, I will try. If that means, if nothing else. Because I know that's probably the only thing that has actually affected him in some way.
It's good to know that he has a chink in his armor.
But really,
Interesting to know what he saw, but we'll never know that, I don't think.
yeah. I do want to say though is that, and I actually handle phone number, like I write down a phone number, right, and give to you. Look, this is where I normally stay. You can call this number. You can or reach out now, and I also write the number to my ghoul to Trix. If you didn't keep her contact information from HR, you could just use this number if you need to reach me. Any information that I have that we find, we can always send that over here to the Danse Nocturne if we need to speak to somebody in particular.
Of course. I'm usually here. If not, I will get the message.
Actually,
Now,
go ahead. Sorry, he'll hand you one of his cards. Actually has the name of an accounting firm on it.
she will
Way
hand
to
over
one up me.
hers to him.
If
Aronson
you
already should have hers.
if you need someone to look at your books, make sure that they haven't done anything, the people I was looking into, give us a call.
I see. Speaking of which, how did my sire know about you?
He didn't say. Said he'd heard good things.
I
And
see.
who knows what that means? But he had been trying to get in touch with me for a little while, at least a few weeks, and I was finally able to schedule him in.
I see. By a few weeks, you mean how long?
How long do you think, storyteller? Was he
At
trying to
least
get in
at least 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks? Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks from about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So been a little over a month.
How long has Ivory known that he's been in town?
About a month.
So that's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Maybe like a week or two above a month.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like 6
Week and a half, month and a half.
more than 4 weeks, less than 6.
That he's been in
Oh, 5 weeks.
town?
Yeah, that he's been in town.
Okay.
Yeah, that he's been around.
That we know of.
Mhm.
And when was Manny killed? With our break, I've lost all track of time.
He was killed before New Year's.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, because it was New Year's that the fangs were given.
No, it wasn't. That was New Year's was when
No, you're right. You're right.
Geraldine.
I believe it happened like between New Year's and
I thought that was not long ago, actually.
no. It was between New Year's and I want to say Memorial Day. So in that time
That's a
frame.
long. Okay.
Yeah, because we're in July right now, so
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was attached to some kind of holiday. I'll have to go back and check my notes.
Okay. So you're a pretty thorough guy, as she looks at Sam.
It's not me.
I'm sure you did an investigation on Barnaby.
Is there a question?
I would be interested in anything interesting that you found.
How interested?
Well, money's not much of an object. Or
Mhm.
if you prefer, I just gave you quite a few things
Hmm.
of interest.
Okay.
Information for information.
That
I
I can
am-
agree to.
I am also not only the leader of, or the head of Elysium, I am also the head of the Harpies. I know a lot.
Wear many hats.
How is Tulip doing?
Actually, when he says that, who's Tulip?
Tulip is doing just fine. I'm surprised. Wasn't she there?
Yeah, she was there, but Sam hasn't
Yeah.
met her.
I haven't met her.
She's out there.
Yeah. A lot of the names Sam doesn't know who they are.
And she'll describe her, saying, that was Tulip.
Oh, Nosferatu.
Yes.
And a harpy.
Yes.
All right. Sense the unseen immediately. The second she's a Nosferatu, I find out she's a Nosferatu.
Okay. Yeah.
No powers in Elysium except when you need them.
Oh, this is a level 1 power. It's always on. It's just, hey, I don't make the rules.
Yeah. You blink a couple times and you'll notice that there's no Nosferatu in the room, even though every room has at least 3 Nosferatu in it at any given time. But you do notice that that woman is still following Erickson.
Yeah, the woman that
well-
you have yet to tell me.
No, we talked about her at the
Yeah, you
street
talked
after
about her.
dinner.
Oh,
After,
Oh,
after
you
dinner.
did? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right,
Is-
that's right.
So I'll
the
look at.
spirit,
It is a
because
wraith.
spirits can't come in
Wraith.
here.
It is a wraith. Yeah,
Wraiths can't come in here.
they can't come in through
Well-
the rift anymore.
Well, yeah, but didn't they put some sort of shielding up or something?
No, they were supposed to.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
So I'll just like look around. I'll kind of give a look as she's talking, and then I'll look behind Erickson, and then I'll look at Erickson, and then I'll look, and then I'll just just give a after I've looked behind
Damn
him.
it. I literally say that out loud. I'm just like, oh, God damn it.
No, I think what you said was fair. Information for information. I'll see what I can dig up about him. You said France originally, right?
Originally, he did spend some time in LA.
L.A.
Yes.
All those filthy anarchs must have been terrible.
Hey, I
for him.
resemble that remark.
At least Camarilla now.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what I can find.
I would appreciate it.
Of course, this has been very fruitful. So
You know, it would be terrible if my sire was behind something nefarious.
Hmm.
if,
It would
if I
be
had
terrible.
to guess, his reaction to my information was genuine for what it's worth.
Yes, he likes his possessions to be okay. Or at least what he deems his possessions.
Correct. So does it make sense that he would try to put you in harm's way? Why would he put me on his own tail?
Mhm.
I mean, that's circuitous even for a toreador.
Mm. Unless he thinks you're incompetent.
If he was talking about me,
possible.
I would think that you'd have that idea, but
I mean, he may be so far up his own keister that, yeah, it's possible. Okay. Well, we'll be back in touch then.
I appreciate it.
I agree. This is actually, I think this is the most we've ever had you and me have spoken before
We've
being
had a couple of
interrupted.
conversations. Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
before, but I will say that, I do have a reputation regardless of what side of the river I'm on.
Mhm.
So, but if you ever need that bull in a china shop, you just let me know.
Like, do you need to break something on the way out and then pay them for it?
Smash. Smash the mirrors as we're going through. Just like, jiggy, jiggy, jiggy.
Well, hopefully we can get things settled down in other parts of this city so that we can have a moment to breathe.
As it were. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's just make room for the next thing.
As always.
Or
And by the way, I think we scared Virginia a bit. She was a little hesitant. So please give our apologies and that we did not mean to do that.
no trouble. And again, I'll make sure that anytime if I do send a ghoul that you're unaware of, that I make sure that it's announced prior to them meeting you.
Well, otherwise it would seem like you were trying to, I don't know, infiltrate my club so you could spy on me. I wouldn't want to
What
get
am
the
I,
wrong
Toreador?
idea.
What am I? Who do you think I am? Toreador?
Eh,
I mean, if I did, that would be a very that if I tried to do anything, it would be very obvious. I would imagine. Unfortunately, I
Well,
am not one
I
for
mean,
subtlety.
you were a politician.
Ooh.
A
Yeah,
long time
look, state senator. Just say it under my breath. I'm like, state senator.
Shots fired.
That's yeah.
But if you guys want anybody to talk to on the way out, you could introduce yourself to Tulip if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Teddy will come out and just again come over and pick up Erickson into a bear hug. And then he'll just kind of
as he does that, I want to whisper to him. I go, I hope you and your mother are doing well. And because if I remember correctly, now I was looking through my notes. We do have a boon from Sasha Vico.
You do have a boon from his grandsire, yes.
Grandsire, yeah.
From his grandsire.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he puts you down, and then he just turns to Sam. Sam, this guy looks like a potato, like just a beanbag with arms and legs. His arms are easily like 3 feet long. His legs are just as long. His body and head are completely misshapen to the body. It's, if you didn't know any better, he could be a Nosferatu. But he just kind of holds up his hand, and then he smiles, and he's got this big kind of like shark toothy smile. Hello, Nas man. Are you friends with the senator?
Yes, we are associates.
It's good to meet you. Do you like hugs?
I do not.
He hugs you anyway.
Thank you.
Do you like hugs?
No.
I give hugs.
No. And he puts you down. I kept it to a short hug instead of a long one. Out of respect.
Good
I am
job,
grateful.
Teddy.
And he just waves. Hello, Miss Larson. It's good to see you again.
Always good to see you, Teddy.
I whispered to him again. I go, "Where are your cats?"
They are not allowed inside the club. So they are waiting for me outside. Like good animals.
I literally run out to find these cats.
They're in the back. Just
You have lost me. You have lost me now because I am
patiently waiting. Yep. They're well behaved. They're like sitting. They're almost sitting in descending order of height and width. But as you leave, Teddy just kind of like looks at Sam. Okay, it was nice to meet you. Goodbye, and he starts to walk towards Tulip.
That happened.
Yeah. But yeah,
They asked me if it was infected.
Teddy's an experience.
Yeah, Gustav, Leopold, and Victor, all three of them look up at you, Erickson. And
Leopold. Yes, Leopold.
And in unison, they meow at you.
Oh,
But they don't
come
move.
here.
They don't move.
It's okay. I'll sit crisscross applesauce until Sam gets there.
All right, I'll head out.
Here with the cat.
Yeah. And Sam, you'll see him around the back. There's 3 cats. There's this huge Maine Coon, this fat Maine Coon. There's a blue chartreuse, and there's this little orange, like tabby. The Maine Coon is the largest, obviously. It's got these burnt honey, kind of like chocolate eyes. The chartreuse is that kind of cobalt gray with these blue eyes, and then the orange one is what looks to be this kitten. Is maybe 6 to 9 months old. It looks smaller compared to the other two. But they all just kind of like look up at you in unison, and then they look over at Erickson and they meow at him in unison.
Oh no, this is my friend Sam. Sam, say hi to the little ones. I point at Leopold. I'm like, he's my favorite.
The little guy?
Yeah.
Yep, that's Leopold.
We're talking to animals too.
Yeah. The Maine Coon is Victor, and the Chartreux is Gustav.
Well, what an
just-
unfortunate name for that cat.
I'll just give a wave.
They all look at you.
Animals don't care for me.
Yep. And as the two of you are outside waiting for Teddy to come back to his cat, and Ivory decides to figure out where her coterie is because she has a meeting with Jimmy Trash Cans. I think this is a good point to call her. We didn't even talk about Jimmy Trash Cans, bro. This whole night.
He never came up in conversation. Oh no, we did bring him up, but we never in front of her.
No.
Of course.
So I think this is a good point to call it for tonight. So thank you guys for coming back, especially for this Elysium episode. I appreciate the Camarilla group sharing their night with the Anarchs, and the Anarchs coming in on a night off. It is well appreciated from all of you. So as always, let me give you guys a chance to plug whatever you're into. We'll start with Antera and work our way down to Ivory. What are you up to, Antera? Where can people find you online if you want to be found?
Not too many places right now. We're on break for a couple things. So right now, tonight, sometimes on Mondays in Salem as this guy. Sometimes on Thursdays as a totally different guy. Much more fighty than this one. And then in a couple of weeks, we're picking back up with Chicago Hidden City over on Mixed Address on Saturday nights. So that'll be good to get back to.
Nice. Kenny, what are you up to? Where can we find you online if you want to be found?
If you want to find me on social media, it's Mr. _ with the underscore in between each word. Right now, you're not going to probably find me on social media, most likely because I'm playing Clair Obscure, Expedition 33.
Yeah.
I am knee deep into this French / JRPG.
Have you started working on your French accent yet?
No, not at all. Not at all.
In français.
But if I I also have Critter Die, which is on TikTok and also on Twitch. Critter Die, literally spelled out that way. Bears Love Gaming. If not, you can usually find me as a pirate, as a vampire, or as some one-shot weird character that Will decides to have me be a part of on his actual platform here at Ravnos Archon.
All right. And Ivory, what are you up to? Where can we find you online if you want to be found?
Well, I am on Tuesdays on the Scion game in here. And that's a lot of fun because I don't have to think.
Yeah.
I just
Pew pew.
and be rude. It's fun. But I do make dice, although my shop is closed right now because I got a lot of stuff going on. But got some hunger dice right here.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah. So if you do need some dice, message me.
Yep.
The shop will still
Take
give
messages.
me messages.
Okay, good.
And,
Yeah, I put the link in chat. So
cool.
but yeah,
And
man.
I endorse it because I have my state senator dice.
You got your state
You
senator
do?
dice? Damn, you fancy as fuck, boy.
Yeah, man, I got my state senator dice.
But yeah, thank you guys for coming back. As always, you can find us here on Monday for Vampire the Masquerade, like you just saw. Tuesdays are for Scion, the first edition, or Werewolf the Wild West. Thursdays are for 7th Sea, where you can see one of the faces that's here today as well. Or Legend of the Five Rings, where you can see one of the other faces that is here today as well. Otherwise, you can catch me at McStabber Studios on Wednesdays for all of their World of Darkness splats, or on Friday as we are gearing up for the end of their Kansas City. And I've been invited to a seat at the table until the end of the show. So I'm enjoying playing an ex-Sabbat Templar turned Anarch Baron. Don't know where I could have gotten that idea from, but it's a route I'm taking. As always, we take mental health on the channel very serious. So please, if you need help, if you think you need help, if you're uncertain, there are phone numbers going up in our Twitch chat. They'll be in the description box if you're on watching this on YouTube. But just know that there are people out there who are trained to help you, who want to help you. And if you're not in the United States or you don't do well with phone calls or text messages, you can always go to findthehelpline.com so you can find the resources in your area or that are more suitable to your needs. But do please look after yourself. If you live in the United States like the rest of us, like those of us here today, it is tough. Shit is not going to get easy for a while, and it is dark for a lot of people. So please know that there are resources out there, and all you got to do is take that first step. You are not an island, and it is okay to not be okay, and it is okay, more than okay, to ask for help. So please take care of yourselves. Be safe, and I think we'll see you when we see you. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Fuck Donald.